Hello, viewers. Kubiando, Kith and Kin, I'm SB, and welcome back to I Was a Teenage Exocolonist, where it's very nearly true. We're getting real close to that title being accurate. We have just turned 12. We've learned how to get outside of the colony. Our stats are going crazy, and we might want to try to pick another thing or two to focus on. I don't know. Maybe the level 2 perks, and I'm assuming there are level 2 perks, especially given the way the first perks were presented to us. Maybe they are worth just like really hard focusing on a couple of stats. I don't know. Anyway, let's chat with our friends before we do anything else. You and Anemone are playing in the garrison yard with sticks, chasing each other around and pretending to be sword fighting. The adults training nearby are patient with you as long as you don't get too near the target dummies, but sometimes you stray too close. "Watch out, Annie!" one of the security personnel calls out as Anemone bumps into her. "You kids stay behind the fences, okay?" "It's Anemone," she retorts as you both retreat to a safe distance. Anemone throws her stick to the ground and pouts. "Just because everyone else shortens their name, it doesn't mean I have to do it. I like being Anemone. But having a nickname is kinda cool and mysterious. Like having a call sign, you know? What would you call me, Samhain?" Well... Nemi... I wonder if she would think Nemi is too cute. Maybe let's ask her what's wrong with Annie. You'll get a sense of what she's looking for. "No," Anemone whines, dragging her hands down her face. "Anne is my mom's name, and she's always calling me Lil Annie, like the kid in the holovids, and I hate it. Please don't pick that." Okay, no, absolutely not. So she has a very specific problem with Annie. Things that are, morphologically similar wouldn't necessarily be a problem. Nem is pretty cute, though. Let's try this. How about Nem? And if it has a very similar sort of punch to her brother's name, maybe she'll like that. Nem tilts her head. "Huh, I never heard that one before." She mimes swinging a sword a few times. Nem. I like it. Short and punchy, just like me. It's kind of like I'm a venturer from a story." Nem picks up her discarded stick. "Now," she says, brandishing it at you, "prepare to be defeated by the mighty Nem." Okay, so a two value card that makes all your red cards under 2 become 2s. That seems pretty good, actually. You spend the next hour sparring with Nem in the yard. Our deck is going to get really unwieldy. We can't remove things nearly as fast as we gain them, and that does make me nervous. I'm going to talk to Dis before we talk to Tangent. Dis is sitting in the bed of one of the expedition vehicles, tinkering with a bit of tech. He tries to hide it when he sees you, but it's in so many pieces that he only manages to shove some behind him before he gives up and glares at you mistrustfully. "What do you want?" "What are you doing?" Dis squints at you. "Promise you won't tell on me," he says. "Yeah, of course. I promise." "They weren't using it," he starts, already sounding defensive as he turns the biggest piece of the device over in his hands. "It was just sitting there in command, so when they weren't looking, I took it. I took it and no one noticed." He seems excited about this fact. "I think it's part of a communication device," he says thoughtfully, "so I'm trying to figure out how it works. I want to talk to the aliens." "Okay, that's very curious. I do have a little bit of engineering skill. What if you tried this?" Dis watches you intently as you reassemble the pieces of the communication device. 2 points, not bad. You hand it back to him and he flicks it on, and it crackles to life with a roar of static. Dis almost drops it in shock. Forward, go, okay. Very broken up message. Not really useful. Dis looks at you with wide eyes. He's smiling? The expression looks weird on his face, almost manic. "Did you hear that?" he says, practically vibrating with excitement. "Those were words, I swear. Aliens are real. They're out there." Yeah, probably." Dis holds the device to his chest and strokes it. "I knew it," he whispers. "I knew it." Maybe I should have told him that it was just people from command, because, like, it probably is, right? Maybe I shouldn't have played into this. You know, people on Earth used to use stuff like this, thinking it would pick up the voices of ghosts, Dis says. But it was probably just radio waves. So I figure if I'm looking for radio waves... Like, aliens have to exist, he continues, quietly, but with great conviction. They have to. You can't have this much life on a planet without some of it being smart like we are. He sighs. I just want to talk to them, he says. Maybe I'd fit in more with aliens than I do here. Oh, okay. I don't like any of these responses. How about, hey, Dis, I am your friend, asshole? I'm really annoyed that all of these things are acknowledgments in some way. There's no way to point out to him that he does have at least a friend. I don't like this. I don't like this a lot. You should make some real friends is what I really don't like about you should make some real friends is that it's me admitting that we are not real friends. And I don't want to do that because we are real friends. So I guess I'm going to say anything is possible, but that is empty garbage. Dis nods and looks outward into the mushroom forest. I know you're just trying to be nice, he says quietly. Even if you think we're really alone out here and you're just lying to make me feel better, it's still nice. Well, I don't feel great about the way that went. Tangent is storming around the quad in front of engineering, checking notes on her holopalm, gesturing and grunting in frustration. This is the worst. Hey, quick tip. Don't say this to women, but also don't say this to trans people, and don't say this to trans women. What's the matter, Tange? I can't possibly, she says, her voice cracking. She seems too upset to even explain it. Professor Hal, she tries again. Hal, he was helping me with this physics chapter, and now he's... She throws her hands in the air, virtual holopalm screens flying everywhere. I can't understand this without him. This is impossible, she chokes out. Why did he have to die? Okay, true but not useful. I'm going to give her a hug. These are both like commiserate, but like, I'm going to give her a hug. She stiffens, then lets you hold her. You can feel her shaking. You think she might be crying, but when she finally pulls away, her eyes are dry. Thank you, Samhain, she says. I know you're having a hard time with this as well. Nothing is easy on Vertumna. When even the adults can't protect themselves, it's obvious we're on our own out here. I do not have the kind of engineering skill it would take to help her study. Well, good luck. Tange nods, going back to her notes. Thank you, she mumbles. I gotta be a better friend to Tangent. I'm having such a hard time with her. I kind of love, though, that it's the two of them that I'm struggling with, that I most want to be friends with. There's an interesting dynamic there where, like, Cal would be so happy to have more of our time, right? Or Anemone. And we just, like, I feel this need to take care of these two. Tange is craning her head, looking around what she can see of the colony from the laboratory doors. Have you seen my brother? She asks. He stormed out of class today, again. She pinches the bridge of her nose. All I did was point out that he consistently makes the same mathematical error and offer a mnemonic to aid his memory in the future. I don't see how I'm the monster here. Yeah, that's rough. Here, have a mushwood log? I'm trying with the two of them. Where are we at with her? 29. Okay. We should see, like, it seems like people also have, new year dialogue that we should see for the first time. A sports ball goes sailing over your head. 4, Nem giggles as she jogs up to you. That's what they used to say on Earth when a ball would go into the crowd. I like it. That's not what it's... Okay, It's fine. I'm gonna give Dis a gift as well. Dis almost completely ignores you in favor of playing a game on his holopad. Just one, he mutters, then cusses and stomps his feet as the game lets out a cheery whistle of defeat. Stupid game, Dis hisses. He looks like he'd throw the game away if it wasn't literally attached to his hand. Hey, Dis. Need bravery 40 or higher to do the next thing with him. And we are at a 34. Yeah, value is wild is a pretty weird... I don't know how to value this card. Part of the problem is I don't know what the bounds are. Like, if it's wild between 0 and 5, that's pretty good, right? Like, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all numbers that I would be happy to have. Here, buddy. I found an egg. It's for you. It's your egg. What's up, Cal? Cal has collected a fine assortment of plastic and metal containers and assembled them into what passes for a drum set, and his clattering away at them echoes through the garden. When he sees you, he twirls his drumstick and gives you a cheeky smile. What? They were just going to get nano-recycled anyway. What was it that I need for to do things with him? I need more biology. I should probably get more biology anyway. Again, it feels like a rancher probably needs... That might be a thing worth focusing on in addition to the stuff we're already doing. Samhain, come over here, Mars demands. When you do, she slings her arm across your shoulders and raises her hollow palm to take a picture. Okay, look cool, she instructs you. I need to take a selfie with someone every day or I lose my streak. She presses her cheek against yours and purses her lips. The picture turns out okay. Mars slaps a filter on it and posts it to the colony message board. Cool. I do not have the persuasion necessary to make her give a shit about my day. So we can access the supply depot here for the first time. We could buy a cake. So we have 73, which is not actually all that good. The photophoner, which is very clearly a reference to the holophoner from Futurama, gives a bonus to yellow cards, which is not amazing. The gardening trowel, plus 5 biology, and a bonus to straights. So I think this animal book is definitely a thing for us. I want to push my animal skill, and we have a lot of red cards. But the trowel has a lot of value as well. I think I'd like to get both of those, ideally. And then, giving people cake on their birthday would be pretty cool. We got a little while before Dis and Tangent's birthdays come around, so... Alright, I have to equip it, I assume. Oh, right. I only have... Shoot, I need perks from organizing, right? Well, I think I'd rather have the animal book than the sun medallion. We don't usually hit challenges by exactly 1. And, we do flushes all the time. Right, we're gonna get +1 on almost everything just from the bonus to flushes. So yeah. Oh, shit. Medicinal roots. Cool. Okay. Something we can give to Dis that he will actually care for. What's up, Mom? Your dad used to joke that her mom got her prosthetic legs so she could run faster than everybody else before you had gene tech. You don't think that's true. You guess she lost it in some kind of fight, but she barely ever talks about it. Except for days like today when she's stumbling around like one leg is shorter than the other. Ah, stupid thing, she grumbles. When am I going to have time to get this damn thing fitted right? Okay, I can't tell her about my day because I don't have the organizing necessary to do so. Yep, we still can't do this, and it would be cool to do that. We actually have a card that has a gem on it now, but also just picking up more 4s. Would be handy. So maybe we need to do something that is going to press our organizing. Right? It's organizing that's supposed to give us the ability to equip more items. Because having a second item equipped would be useful once we have the kudos to buy that other thing. So do I know you? This is Utopia. We've not actually met Utopia. Chief Surveyor Utopia, yep, tells me we're still not allowed to go out yet. Well, that's fine. So, biology and organizing could both use a little bit of a push, but also it's the beginning of the new year, and I kind of want to make an excursion right away. I guess I could have done that from the gate. Yeah, I kind of want to make an excursion right away. There are sometimes events, especially with animals, that let us purge a bunch of stress, so we might be able to get a bunch of work done. We're not that far off of the next perception bonus. Well, I don't know. Actually, it's like 18 points away. But anyway, I want to go out and gain more points of animals as well, so let's hope that we just encounter some of those stress-reducing things. Oops. No, I don't want to go back home. Keep exploring. I was just curious if I could go up in that corner. So in particular, I would like to engage in events that have animals on them. Can we see past either of these to a thing beyond? No, not really. I guess let's go this way. Ooh. A large woolly blue creature is floating here, a meter off the ground. It seems to be upside down, which is causing it some distress. Its segmented legs kick uselessly in the air as it tries to right itself. This must be a float cow. The colony is working on domesticating these, though you haven't seen one up close before. Her slitted eyes look at you imploringly. She makes a helpless lowing noise and tries again to flip over, but she can't. We are not going to pop the float cow. That's fucked up. I can't milk a float cow. With my bonus, where am I at? 16. Okay. Let's just try to figure out what's wrong with her. We have a sort of a vague sense. You take a closer look. You've heard they float using a certain ratio of liquid to gas in their membranous bladders. So after some consideration, you figure out the bladder on her back must be too full of liquid. Right, so milking her is how you would resolve this. Popping the float cow is going to kill it, right? It seems bad. I'm gonna leave it. It's probably not gonna kill it, but it can't be good for it. Maybe let's try to go around the other way. Some farmland is spilled outside the walls. The fields don't look like they're doing very well. Yeah, we've been here. I guess I'll try to plant something. We gain some biology. You're just a kid playing at being a farmer. You mess around for a few hours, planting some things that look like seeds, but it's unlikely any of them will actually grow here. Alright, a little bit of stress. A little bit of medicinal roots. No, I don't want to go home. I want to keep exploring. I would love to find a challenge that has an animal depicted on it, like we've seen once or twice. Let's see what's this way. On top of a rise off to the east, you think you spot someone watching you. The next time stress goes up, we're going to get forced home. Damn it. They're dressed in black. Is that Dis? But they look way too tall to be Dis. Yeah, something's going on. Maybe another surveyor. You blink and the figure is gone. No, we're hiking over there and looking for clues. You bushwhack down into a valley and up the other path to where you thought you saw them standing. No signs of a camp or anything obvious like a dropped pack. No note signed "I'm watching you," signed "Mysterious Figure." Spooky. So a red 2 with a gem on it. That's, like, fine. Alright, so that was pretty stressful, and we didn't get quite the stats we were hoping for from it. You've been having weird dreams, as usual. They seem to get worse around glow. You wake from a dream that has tears drying on your face, though you can't remember why, just that you were terrified. Whatever it was, it felt real enough that for a moment you just lie in bed with your eyes closed and try to calm your breathing. You blearily rub your eyes and... Surprise! Oh, right, it's your birthday. Your dad leaps onto your bed and gives you a big cuddle. Happy birthday, little tomato head. 12 years old. Wow. Can you believe it? No, your mom answers for you, laughing as she hands you your presents. It was just yesterday Antecedent was showing me how to change your diaper. Because it's your birthday, your parents have brought in food from the canteen, so you can all eat together on your bed. As you stuff your face with savory tofu chunks... Gosh, I'm actually very hungry, I'm realizing. You open your presents. Which one is your favorite? A bouquet of exotic flowers from your mom? A stuffed xenofauna from your dad? Aw. Or a photophoner from your best friend? I don't think we want this one. I don't know exactly what we would do with the flower, but it's very beautiful. The photo I think is it's not a good card for us, like it's not a good item for us to get, but I wonder if clicking on this will give us a little bit of a chance to, like bond with our best friend. And the relationships with the other kids, I think seem really important to me. But also beautiful flower. I don't know, it's very curious, isn't it? I'm going to say this. They're exotic because they came from Earth. Pardon me. I saved these seeds in cold storage for over 20 years just for this day, your mom says proudly. These are the first Earth flowers to bloom on Vertumna, white astrantia. She pinches your cheek. They're special, just like you. As your dad clears away the wrapping paper and the dishes from breakfast, your mom folds her hands on the table and gives you a serious look. Uh-oh. So, she says, we've been here 2 years now. I know your dad and I always said you're in charge of your schedule, but we've been keeping an eye on you. I wonder how close of an eye. A loving eye, your dad interjects, stuffing wrapping paper into the recycler pickup bin. A trusting, gentle eye. You've been staying active, your mom continues, and that's great. A healthy body is a healthy mind, and you'll need both in life. Your dad joins you again. So, it's time to start thinking about how you're going to contribute to the colony when you're older. At the look on your face, he laughs. Don't worry, we're not going to make you get a job right now. We're just asking, what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, I think it's either a farmer or a monster hunter, right? Like, just to give them an answer, I want to be something that works with animals. I think something like a rancher is really valuable. But also, somebody has to go out and, like, discover things, right? I'm going to say a monster hunter. I think that, like, that brings our bravery and our perception and our toughness and our hopeful, fingers crossed, raised animal skill, all into play together. Your mom laughs. You've been playing too many holo games, Samhain, she says. Hunting monsters? I hope it doesn't come to that here. She rubs her leg under the table, where the prosthetic attaches to her bone. Just remember, being a hero isn't all it's cracked up to be. Well, your mom starts to get up. I'm sure your friends all want to wish you a happy birthday. She stops and snaps her fingers. Oh, you might not have considered a career as a depot clerk, but Al and Bernie mentioned their daughter Mars is working there, and she needs some help. Now that people can freely order luxuries, it's pretty busy there. Sure beats shoveling dirt, your dad laughs. If you don't take that job, tell Mars I'll be right there. Your mom rolls her eyes and smiles. They have a fun sort of rapport. I like the way they get along. All right, so this is a rest month. You probably can't really get much done. Nobody has any new stuff they want to say. And we're not even going to be able to really investigate the new job. I want to save most of my medicinal flowers. Like, I want to save most of my gifts for Tangent and Dis. So I guess we're just going to rest. But I'm going to rest on the wall. Yeah, I think I like this. Most of the time you're alone up here, except for the occasional passing guard. But sometimes you're joined by Dis. He barely looks up at you as you plop down and kick your feet through the railing and over the edge. He looks like he's doodling on his hollow pad. You see all sorts of plants, mushrooms, little creatures with too many eyes or too many legs. He has a selection of plant samples at his side, like artist paintbrushes laid out on a towel. He must be quite the junior botanist. He's not drawing plants right now, though. He's actually drawing a person, and not anyone you recognize from the colony. They have long dark hair and a pointed face, and are covered from neck to toe in floaty black robes. They look neat. You wonder if they're Dis's original character or something, like his super cool goth self-insert. Maybe he's thinking about starting a D&D game. That looks nice. This is shitty. This is kind of backhandedly shitty. I'm just going to say that looks nice. Dis smiles shyly, but doesn't look away from his drawing. Thanks, he mumbles. I'm not very good at drawing him yet. Okay. Do I want to forget one of these? No, probably not, right? Yeah, it's hard to imagine wanting to drop a 4 or a 3. We're definitely not in this place. Okay. I could maybe have managed that more carefully so that we got raises on all of our months of the heroic bonus. Probably. Whatever. It's fine. Now that we've taken a month off of giving gifts, I think we're probably allowed to again. Nope, still too soon. Well, what do we want to push on next? I really want to get our animal skill up. Yeah, we're really in a kind of a rough place on blue stuff. Our parents are not mad about us not really going to school very much. I think we're going to sneak out again. This seems to be the only way we really have to push our animal skill higher, and I'm taking it seriously. So the person we saw who seemed like Dis, who might have been the person Dis was drawing, was out here somewhere. The muck hides interesting bugs and other treasure, for those willing to put their hands down the right holes. Are you? Oh, absolutely. Looks dark. We'll just look a little closer. I got great perception. I can get a sense of what's in there. You've stuck your hand down enough holes to know. This one seems occupied. Then perhaps I should not put my hand in it. Is that cowardice? I don't think so. I think that's being nice to an animal. I'm really glad the medicinal roots, like that perception thing, makes stuff glow, because I do think I legitimately would miss pickups all the time if they weren't broadcasting their position to us. Okay, gelatinous blob grass. We've seen this one before. This should be pretty straightforward. So setting neighbors to 2, like we can just spend our worst cards here, get a pretty nice boost out of it. Man, do straights really only read the one direction? Because that's a shame. Does this get a bonus from being here? Is this considered the last pane? Oh, it is. Interesting. So I think we want to go ahead and take that straight. And then... okay. Seems pretty solid. That is extremely a win. That is so much win. There it is. You can hop along from that rock to that fallen log. Yep, it's the same as last time. So, collectibles respawn faster and more slots are filled. So every time it does a collectibles check, it will spawn a larger number of them. Hey, look, it's our buddy. A Unisaur. You've seen them before, but they still fill you with a sense of awe, and so we will observe it and gain ourselves some. Lose ourselves some stress. So, do I want to just lay down the reds here? We can't quite get a straight going. Right? Like, that's fine. That's a fine start. Okay, so this is going to be a 4. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we just do like this thing. It's good enough. And then we can play a ton of reds together. I mean, it's definitely going to be better to have the red in, right? Oh, wait. Sorry. What am I doing? Why would I put the 6 next to the sports ball? As you settle in to watch it from behind a strand of trees, the Unisaur looks up toward you. Yep. We've seen this event. And then we actually do... That should put us past 20 animals, right? And we get de-stressed a little bit, because who doesn't love watching an animal pee? Okay, and now, if we can find that float cow again, I can actually milk it and maybe help it out a little. Geoponics engineers have set up a work site here, using the RoboPlow to tear up the ground and prep it for farming. I definitely cannot afford to get caught by them. They will get me in trouble. 30 in 3 rounds, again, is like extremely easy. We can absolutely do this. Playing sports balls sure does make it difficult to build straights. I might just go ahead and do this. That's not a very good use of Anemone's loyalty. We can play the stranger. Yeah, that's fine. And then this lets us burn our 1 in a way that's at least kind of useful. And then, of course, you know, just absolutely blow this out. I don't know that it matters really how we put this together. The playing sports ball is actually, like, very awkward here. Is that better than using Dis's secret? Yeah, the interaction between telling a violent tale and playing sports ball is pretty weird. It doesn't really matter. I guess now that the kudos actually do things, I suppose it does matter a little bit. You skulk under the trees at the edge of their operation. The loud grinding of the RoboPlow hides any noise you might have made. Yep, I'm just trying to get back to that cow. You stop for lunch, eating an earth treat grown from your own greenhouses. A watermelon, nice and sweet, like a more solid potato pod. You munch away, spitting out the seeds. I am going to practice spitting seeds. You take the challenge seriously. It gives you 2 combat points for some reason. Yeah, doing this while heroic is really huge, because you get the bonus so many times. Maybe I should have de-stressed a little bit. I don't know. The second sun is beginning to set, and you're planning your route back to the gates when you spot Dis in the distance. He waves you over. "Hi, Samhain," he says gloomily. He sighs. "I wish we didn't have to go home. I wish we could stay out here forever." I don't know that I wish that. I would miss my parents. He won't like this, I think. But also, I don't want to give him the impression that I want to, like, try to live a life outside the walls with him, because I'm worried that that might lead somewhere. Yeah, I would miss my parents. What if, he begins, what if we didn't go home? Today, I mean. What if we stayed out and camped overnight? He gestures to the pack on his back. I brought a tent, just in case. and a perimeter sensor. And I found a spot right near the depot that looks safe. Yeah, okay, like on night, sure. I think our kid would be excited about that. Hell yeah. Dis sets up the tent while you place the perimeter posts around the edge of the clearing. If anything trips this invisible wall around your campsite, at least you'll know about it. Without even saying goodnight, Dis crawls into the tent, takes off his jacket and stuffs it behind his head, then curls up in a ball facing the wall. He falls asleep almost immediately. You crawl in beside him and pull a thermal blanket over yourself. You're exhausted from a long day of hiking in the jungle, so despite the excitement of being out in the wild at night, you quickly fall asleep as well. You both wake to a blaring alarm and bright lights filling the campsite. It's the perimeter alert. Something must have triggered it. Dis sits bolt upright and looks at you with wide eyes. Should you go out there to check? Of course we're going to do that. I'm going to work up the courage to do that real quick here. So this is a yellow challenge. And we don't automatically blow it out. I think I'm just going to do the triple here. The double triple, I guess. Right? That's a good start. Get 10 points out of that. There's not really a great way to, here, we can do this and then throw the beautiful vista at the end. I'd like to use this to combine two sets for the double count, but also just using it as a third two, I don't think is terrible. And it gives us the 4 of a kind. Like it completes the goal right there. I guess that's good enough. That's gotta be good enough. And then don't think we're using the sports ball this time. I don't know, like, does it make sense to even go for a straight? I think we just kind of, like, play the red cards in the middle. Gets us a 26. If we try to play the straight, we're going to end up with something like this. It is slightly better. It doesn't matter where we put this. Yeah, okay. Apparently it wasn't quite the maximum. There was one more point to be had. You both carefully open the door and peek out through a crack. Nothing. Whatever it was, the lights and noise must have scared it off. The sun is almost up, and you're definitely not getting back to sleep after that. So the two of you eat soy rations and quietly watch the sunrise over the jungle together. When the surveyors open the gates and start prepping for the day, you pack up your gear and go home. You expect the worst, but nobody even noticed you were gone. You left the privacy curtain on your bed closed, and your parents must have come in late and left early, thinking you were asleep the whole time. You're lucky, but it also makes you feel a little sad. I will say I was not ready to go home just yet. I probably should have told him not yet. I didn't want to tell him no. Right? I thought that would not be great, but we could have gotten more out of that day. You find Dis sitting in the mouth of one of the wall's drainage sewers. In wet season, excess rainwater is diverted out here so it doesn't flood the inside walls. So it doesn't flood inside the walls. In the meantime, it looks like Dis has set up a little base here, with pillows and a stash of snacks. His alien communication device hisses with static. He looks up from his holoscreen as you pop your head inside the drain. "Hey, Samhain," he says quietly, before going back to the game he's been playing. "What's that? What you got there?" You haven't heard of it," he says without looking up. "I made it myself." You squeeze into the narrow drain and sit down next to Dis. On his holopad is a picture of Mars, and you watch him drag a match from the sidebar and drop it on her face. Little animated flames wiggle over the picture, leaving parts of it looking charred. It's pretty crude, but you think you get the point. "Oh, what happened with Mars?" Dis shrugs. "Same thing that always happens," he says. He resets the game, then drags a bomb from the sidebar onto the picture of Mars. It explodes and the picture disintegrates. "She booked my name down for every appointment with the nanoprinter, because she thinks my clothes are always torn up and dirty all the time. So I got in trouble for wasting resources. I tried to tell them it was her, but Mars never gets in trouble. Everyone likes her, he mumbles. But it's fine. I don't need anyone to like me. I don't care if they hate me. I hate them. So, I think when he says everyone likes her here, he's talking more about the older people, because she does not actually seem all that popular with our friends. I'm just thinking back to Valentine's Day. Sorry, I have to keep drinking to keep the old everything running. And where did you learn how to do that? Well, it's pretty simple, Dis says. The light from his holoscreen reflects in his eyes as he looks at you in the gloom. People on Earth used to make this kind of stuff all the time, and I have a lot of time to learn new things. Oh, I see. That's very vague. Dis goes back to playing his game, content not to talk to you. This is not a useful thing to say. There's some personality traits here that I'm a little concerned about. Why don't you just talk to Mars instead? Dis snorts. Yeah, right, he says. Talk to Mars? No way. She'll just make fun of me even more. Why should I bother? He says, going back to his game. I don't care. Okay, all right. I'm gonna go have some words with Mars. Dis almost completely ignores you in favor of playing a game on his holopad. Okay, he's in the thing. Listen, I found these medicinal roots and I thought you might like them. Yep, cool. Also, Dis is scrolling through a novel on his holopalm, completely checked out of the world around him. He startles when you tap his shoulder. Geez, Sowen, he grumbles, gesturing to close his novel. You catch a few lines about a dragon before the screen disappears. Dis flips up his collar and turns away. Can't you tell when someone's busy? I dare you to go into a restricted area. You dare Dis to explore the creepiest, darkest part of engineering, deep down where even Chief Engineer Instance never goes, under the recycling room, where they say there are ghosts. You set the mood, then sneak around behind him, put your holopalm flashlight under your face, and shout boo. He rolls his eyes. Sowen, think about it. If there were ghosts on this spaceship, one of them would be my mom. Oh. Yeah, you guess that might scare a normal person, but Dis still isn't scared of anything. Okay, well that tells us something about the parent situation, which I did have questions about. Okay, hey Tange, I have a gift for you as well. Do you like medicinal roots? This is interesting, is all Tange says, taking the roots and turning them over in her hands. Her lip curls in distaste at the dirt that still clings to them. No, really, she protests when she sees the look on your face. I'm going to analyze these roots and see if they have any useful properties. They might be medicinal. She turns to walk away and then remembers herself. Thank you, she adds, almost as an afterthought. Okay, so they both like medicinal roots. Tangent is deep in conversation with one of the other scientists. He seems to be consoling her, though Tangent's face betrays no emotion as he claps her on the shoulder and reassures her that she's really doing well for someone so young, and that everyone compromised some of their samples when they were first learning. He leaves, and Tangent sighs as she goes to put her head in her hands, stopping short when she realizes she's still wearing gloves. She peels them off and digs her fingers into her eyes. Are you okay, Tangent? I'm fine, Tangent replies immediately. I compromised an experiment I was working on because the vent was still open when I was spraying the workstation down with sanitizer. She sniffs. It's so gross here. I probably did that fungus a favor. Tangent takes a bottle of sanitizer from under her workbench and cleans while she speaks. And there are pollen spores everywhere, she whines. And he comes over here and tells me it'll be okay, Tange, like it's his job to console and patronize me. Yeah, I hate being patronized too. You both sigh in unison. I hate being young, she says bitterly. Why don't they understand that we have higher expectations for ourselves than they do? I need to learn from my own failures. Some might say failure is instructive even. What I don't need, she continues icily, is someone to pat me on the head and tell me it's okay and the adults will make it all better. I messed up. Just let me fix it. Don't make a big deal about it like I'm a child with a boo-boo. Yeah, actually, I super get that. This planet is like a body, Tange muses, and we are a foreign invader, much like a virus. Also, like a virus, we seek to appropriate the systems of this planet for our own gain, co-opting its growing cycles, using its resources to build, etc. She crosses her arms and looks thoughtfully toward the wilderness. Is it any wonder we've prompted an immune response? Okay, that's an interesting way to think about it. Oh, hey, Samhain, Mars says, breezing past you. I'm sorry, I can't talk right now. I'm on my way to work in command. She stops when you don't sound amazed enough. You know, the supply depot, she clarifies. It's the most important job in the whole colony. Anything that gets made here goes through me first. Mars's smug smile gets somehow even more smug. Plus, I get the first pick of all the best stuff. So I can't go straight to Seek and ask for a job because I don't think the adults are the solution to my problems. And I don't have the friendship with Mars necessary to ask if I can also work there. Although, you know, our friendship's better than it has been in the past. Yeah, wow, Mars, that's amazing. You lay it on really thick. How Mars is just so cool. How everything she does is totally great. And how she's obviously the most important person in the colony. You're going to start a Mars fan club in her honor. She just laughs. Nice try, Samhain. But thanks for the compliments. Then she just leaves, without even offering to help get you a job. Drat. Sucking up to Mars didn't work? What's next? Having to actually ask for what you want? Ugh. Maybe you could ask again later. Okay, I was just curious if the stock changes. Seems like if it does, it doesn't do it super frequently at least. Hey, a Xeno egg. So, what do we want to do now? Oh, we can get that card from Dad. Your dad is working with the float cows. One of them is sick and isn't producing enough urine as ballast, and it keeps wanting to float away. Your dad is building a spike so that he can tie her down until she feels better. You hold onto the leash, feeling like a little kid with a balloon. A big, woolly, gassy balloon. It looks down at you with placid, unblinking eyes. You can see yourself refracted in them. Weird. Also neat. Okay. So, do we want to go do a little bit of schoolwork, maybe? I feel like we're pretty set up on a lot of things. I'm assuming we don't get a lot of organizing from school. I think I am going to go back out. Oops, sorry. This is too far north. I want to go down here. Yeah, I just really like sneaking out to explore. It is perhaps not the most resource-efficient use of our time all the time. Plants grow fast during pollen. They've choked the path here, and you can't see an obvious way through. Or can I? Yes, I can, is the answer. Do we want to... Ah, that breaks the straight, though. Man, Anemone's cards make it very awkward to get the stuff I'm looking for. I'm just going to take this. Value is wild. Oh. Wildcard values matches all pairs or straights. Match as all pairs or straights. That's very strangely worded. All right, how about we do this? That seems like a pretty solid outcome. And then... this could be a 4. I was gonna do the run here. The 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just a 6 on top of it. But I wonder if we'd be better off just making the group of 4s. Because this could be a 4, and that could be a 4. It's 26. Okay. Let's see about that. Also 26. If we cut this, it remains 26, but I want to get my eagle eyes. Yeah, okay. Doesn't seem to matter. There's a lot of ways to get a 26. You find a good stick and whack, whack, whack your way through the tangle of new growth. Take that, nature. Yeah. You come across a cluster of mush trees. Give them a friendly pat. Notice the spider. Get some animal points. I remember this one. So I think we're just like on the road that we were on before right now. Where am I at? 80. So the next event we have will not necessarily be the last. I want to keep exploring. Oh, I can't access that. Oh, I want to get the critter. Can I? I wonder if we could access that critter by coming around from the other side. Because if I'm not mistaken, the encounter with that critter does remove stress. No, we're not going to be able to shortcut through there. But if we go all the way around from this path, the float cow event should be like right here. Yep. Okay. So, time to milk the float cow. It's hard to milk a float cow that's upside down. She struggles and kicks her legs at you as you try to flip her over long enough to get to her udders. But thanks to a combination of might and empathy, you manage to calm her down. If she's still sick, milk's supposed to collect in her lower udder, not her gas bladder. But at least she's balanced now and has a chance to get well on her own. Okay, time passes. And then I get to the critter? Yes, okay. So if I'm remembering correctly, this will... oh, this is a different Hop-Eye thing. Okay. You spot a group of Hop-Eyes playing in a clearing. They let you get pretty close to watch them chatter and rub noses. They're all friends, just like people, but they hop away if you get too close. Wow, no red at all, huh? Pretty wild. Feels like a pretty good start. And then maybe like... get ourselves some of those. And then here come all the red cards. So that gets me 31, whereas like that, wow, is that really also 31? Okay, either one then. The Hopeyes are wary at first, but you crouch down and copy their cute little squeaking noises. You bounce toward them, and amazingly, they don't hop away. You play with the Hopeyes for a few minutes before moving on. Cute little guys. Okay, we did not get de-stressed, but I did get to interact with animals, and I think that's just as good. Your dad comes back from work one day looking seriously under the weather. He's pale, with deep circles under his eyes, and he keeps sneezing. It's fine, he insists. It's just all this pollen in the air. It's gunking up the old air tubes. Do you remember hay fever, Flulu? We always got it back on Earth, too. Your mom frowns and crosses her arms. We did, she agrees. So why isn't this bothering me? You're a lot tougher than me, Sweet Pea, your dad says, and your mom just rolls her eyes. I'm sure I just have to get used to it, like you did, he continues. Maybe I'll go for a stroll outside the gates later, or really get a good lungful of the stuff. I'll feel bad for a few weeks, but after that I'll be fine. Your mom raises both eyebrows. Outside the gates? You? Your dad shrugs, then he falls into a fit of sneezing and can't answer. Your mom directs him to go lie down on the bed. You need rest, not machismo, she scolds him. I don't have achoo, your dad sneezes. A macho bone in my body, Fufu, and I have to fertilize the corn and pixie beans this week. Uh-huh, your mom grunts. Your dad pulls a handkerchief from his pocket and sneezes into it a few times. Big, yelling honk sneezes that echo through your whole quarters. He pulls it away from his face, and you can tell that something's wrong. Huh, your dad says weakly, holding the handkerchief away from his face. It's bright fuchsia pink and glittering in the light. That's weird. Then his eyes roll back in his head, his knees buckle, and your mom yells for you to call Instance. Chief Engineer Instance takes your dad's vitals and gives him a cursory look over, but she seems satisfied with what she sees without having to do a thorough examination. The explorers have started calling this the Shimmer, she says, shining a light down your dad's throat. He's looking a little better, but not much. It's an airborne environmental toxin, likely in the pollen fog. Will he be okay? It doesn't seem to cause long-term damage to the body, Instance explains. She gestures in the air, making notes on her hollow eye that only she can see. I've been tracking its effects for 3 seasons now. The toxin is flushed out of the body after 3 to 5 days, and it's not contagious. She looks down at your father. What this means for you, Geranium, since you're particularly susceptible to the toxin, you should be taking better pains to avoid exposure. If you must go outside during pollen, use a respirator. Your dad smiles weakly. You got it, boss, he says. Your mom smiles and puts her hand over his. As your literal boss, I'm ordering you not to come into work for the rest of the week, she says. You are on strict bed rest. She leans in to touch her forehead to his. They stay like that, smiling with relief. Even after 1 day of bed rest, your dad is looking a lot better. He's clearly anxious to get back out into the fields. Oh, you're going to love this new crop, Sowen. It's called a pixie bean. They glow in the dark. He's already pulling on his boots. The fields look so beautiful at night. I'm happy that we finally found something that would actually grow here that isn't soy, and more soy. Yeah, I'm happy too. Alright, welcome to Mid-Pollen, where Tange has something to say to us. Your hollow palm pulses with a message from Tange. Hello, Sowen. If you're not occupied, could I ask for your assistance in the lab? Thank you in advance, Tangent. Typical Tange, but her asking for help is something so rare you can't help but head over right away. You find her hunched over a spectrometer, making notes on a hollow screen. Oh, you're here, she says, blinking rapidly. She looks like she's been awake for days, wrinkled, a little shiny, and with the wild-eyed look of someone who needs a cup of blep tea. Yeah, how can I help? I'm researching the Shimmer, The respiratory illness some people report during pollen. I'm loath to admit it, but I need your assistance. She takes 4 vials with swabs inside and puts them into your hands. I need recent saliva samples from both you and your father, she says. There must be a reason why he's so susceptible to the shimmer and you're not. I mean, you share half of your genetic code with him. There must be some marker we can compare between the 2 samples. Then she continues, pulling out another vial from a rack of test tubes. Administer this to yourselves, wait 3 days, then take samples again. The test should be able to determine if anything in your body chemistry has changed. Tange looks at you very seriously, cutting through her bleary expression. There's something going on here, she whispers. Something really, really big. I've just begun to realize this is about more than just curing a disease. She squeezes your hand so hard it almost hurts. Unlocking the secrets of the shimmer, who it affects and why, it could lead to a greater understanding of all of life on Vertumna. And knowledge. Knowledge is more than power, Samhain. It's control. I do worry. I'm not going to say this, I think. I'm just going to say, okay, I'll do it. So, +1 Shimmer Cure, +1 helped Tangent. Okay. Thank you, Tange says. I've been researching so hard I think my eyes are going to fall out of my head. And for what? Well, for the end of a debilitating disease is a pretty good reason. But Tange just shakes her head at herself before you can answer. We're at a disadvantage here, she mutters. We're fighting blind. We need to understand this planet if we're going to get it under our control. Okay, I don't disagree with that. Okay, so not much left to do except rest. Just out of curiosity. Okay, yeah. Nothing new to be said. So, I think that right there is where we're going to call it for today. Something is afoot. Multiple somethings are afoot. There are some plot lines running all over the place, and we are going to do our very best to give each of them some attention. But obviously, I'm going to be paying a lot more attention to the disentangent stuff than anything else. So when y'all come back next time, that is exactly what we will continue on the path of. And we'll see you then.